Welcome to While We Were Distracted, the podcast where we explore topics that often get overshadowed in the rush of daily life.
All right, let's dive into this solar theory stuff. You really want to get a deeper understanding of the sun. And I think these sources, especially this Secret Doctrine by Madame Blavatsky, are going to help us do just that.
Yeah, Blavatsky.
This book, it dives into some pretty out-there cosmology.
Yeah.
So get ready for some mind-bending concepts about the sun's role, in the universe and everything.
I think what's fascinating about the Secret Doctrine is how Blavatsky really presents the sun as this source, like this wellspring of vital power,
Okay.
It's not just a physical object to her.
Right.
She's talking about it as like a driving force, behind life and motion.
Okay, so unpack that a little bit.
When we say,
When we say, source of vital power,
yeah.
what does that even mean?
Yeah, it's like she's almost suggesting that the sun has a kind of consciousness or intelligence.
Oh, wow.
It's really interesting.
Yeah.
And you're right, it does seem to challenge the purely materialistic view of the universe.
For sure.
She uses the term self-active principle to describe the sun,
Okay.
implying that it's not just passively radiating energy, but actively directing and influencing forces within the solar system.
So it has a will of its own.
Yeah.
It's not just following the laws of physics.
That's one way to interpret it, and it's interesting because this idea has actually resonated with some modern thinkers too.
Really?
Yeah, scientists like Hunt and Metcalfe, they've proposed that solar energy, which they call caloric,
Okay.
might be a self-active principle, like attracting matter, influencing celestial motion.
Wait, hold on. So you're saying what she was writing in the late 1800s
Yeah.
is being echoed by scientists today?
Yeah, pretty remarkable, huh?
It's wild.
It seems like Blavatsky was really tapping into something profound, something that science is only beginning to, explore now.
Yeah.
And there's even more striking parallels.
Okay.
Dr. Richardson, who's another scientist, he's even suggested that the sun could be the primary seat of vital power, even speculating about the possibility of organisms existing within the sun itself.
Organisms living in the sun?
Yeah,
That's a wild thought.
it's pretty out there.
It seems like we're just at the beginning of understanding
Yeah,
the sun's, true nature
yeah,
and how it impacts life.
for sure.
But let's go back to Blavatsky for a sec.
Okay.
In The Secret Doctrine, she pulls a lot from ancient wisdom traditions.
Right.
What kind of connections is she making between, the sun and these ancient teachings?
Well, she talks about the mundane egg, for example. It's
Oh,
like
yeah.
this universal symbol of creation that's
Yeah.
found across cultures.
Yeah,
Like Brahma's egg in Hinduism,
right?
or Osiris's birth from an egg in Egyptian mythology.
Okay.
And there's even similar things in Norse mythology.
Interesting.
And Blavatsky, she connects all these creation myths to the sun, suggesting that it represents this primordial creative force that's, responsible for birthing the universe.
So these myths weren't just stories. They were trying to communicate
Yeah.
big truths about
Deeper truths.
the cosmos.
Exactly. That's the argument that she makes.
Oh, okay.
She believed there was a hidden language in, these traditions, and that if we could understand this symbolic language, we could get a much deeper insight into, the universe.
What about these terms that she uses, like Fohat and Vosh?
Yeah.
What do those signify?
Those terms, they point to some of the more esoteric aspects of her cosmology. Fohat is a Sanskrit term,
Uh-huh.
and she uses it to represent, cosmic electricity or the primordial energy that drives creation.
So the force that sets it all in motion.
Exactly. Think of it as the engine that starts the universe.
Okay.
And the sun, for her, is a primary expression of this force.
Like a conduit.
Exact.
Okay.
And then a Vash is another Sanskrit term.
Right.
And it represents occult sound, or the creative power of the word.
Okay.
And Blavatsky suggests that sound, particularly primordial sound, played a role in the formation of the universe.
Wow.
And again, the sun is, a key player in this process.
It's like she's weaving this really complex tapestry of ideas,
Yeah.
ancient mythology,
Yeah.
esoteric concepts,
Uh-huh.
scientific principles.
Exactly.
How does she reconcile all of that?
That's where her critique of materialistic science comes in.
Okay.
She argued that while science had made, great strides in understanding the physical world,
Right.
it was kind of neglecting the subtler forces and principles that were underlying that world.
Okay.
And she saw occultism as a way to bridge that gap, to explore these unseen realms that, science was only starting to get a glimpse of.
So she wasn't anti-science.
No, not at all.
Just saw the limitations.
Right, exactly. In fact, she even pointed to the work of scientists like William Crookes,
Oh, right.
who was known for his research into what he called radiant matter.
Okay.
Crook was like questioning the simplicity of the known elements, suggesting a deeper, more complex reality behind the material world.
It sounds like he was onto something.
Yeah, like right on the verge of breaking through.
Yeah.
And discovering a whole new level of understanding about the universe.
Yeah, totally.
Exactly.
We're starting to get a really interesting picture here.
Yeah.
The sun as this, like, source of primordial energy,
Right.
a key player in, like, cosmic creation,
Uh-huh.
even potentially a seed of life itself.
It's mind-blowing.
Totally shifting my perspective on what the sun truly is.
Yeah, and there's so much more to explore.
I bet.
We haven't even touched on Blavatsky's ideas about the sun's life cycle, its connection to the number 7, and the concept of solar pralaya.
I have a feeling those topics are going to take us even deeper down the rabbit
Oh,
hole.
yeah.
But for now, let's take a minute, process what we've learned so far.
Okay.
The sun's a lot more complex and mysterious than we initially thought.
Absolutely. And as we delve deeper into Blavatsky's work, we'll continue to unravel those mysteries and discover the profound implications of her solar theory.
Let's do it.
Okay.
So you mentioned Blavatsky's ideas about a sun's life cycle.
Yeah.
And solar pralaya. I've got to admit, those are pretty intriguing concepts.
Yeah, the idea of like the sun having a life cycle might seem kind of strange at first, but if you think about it, stars are born, they evolve, they eventually die, right?
Right.
Blavatsky's concept of solar pralaya, it describes like a period of cosmic dissolution and renewal. It's like this grand reset for the sun and the entire solar system, really.
So it's not just about the sun burning out.
Right, exactly.
It's more like a death and rebirth kind of thing.
It's like a transformation.
On a cosmic scale.
Exactly. A process of death and rebirth, but on this huge scale.
Is that what she means by these Manvantaras and Pralayas that she talks about?
You got it.
Okay.
Manvantaras are like the periods of cosmic activity.
Right.
Things are being created,
Right.
manifesting.
Right.
And then the Pralayas are like the periods of cosmic rest, dissolution, like a drawing inward, before the next cycle begins.
It's like a cosmic...
Inhale, exhale.
Yeah, inhale and exhale.
Exactly.
Wow, okay.
And Blavatsky believed that this cyclical pattern, this in and out, it's like woven into the fabric of the universe, from the smallest particles to, the largest celestial bodies.
So everything is in this constant state of flux?
Yeah, constantly changing, becoming, unbecoming.
That's a pretty wild thought.
It challenges the idea of a static, unchanging universe.
Yeah, for sure.
Blavatsky saw the universe as this, like, the dynamic, living organism,
Right.
constantly evolving, transforming, and understanding these cycles. She thought that was really key to understanding our place in the grand scheme of things.
Now, another thing that stood out to me in The Secret Doctrine was her focus on this number 7.
Ah, yes.
7 rounds, 7 globes, 7 principles.
A number 7.
Like, why is that number so important in her theory?
Well, the number 7 has always, like, held a special significance in esoteric traditions, often symbolizing, like, completeness or a cycle of evolution. And Blavatsky connects this to the 7 traditional planets, recognized in astrology, right?
Yeah.
Which were believed to influence human groups and even, like, the evolution of souls.
Interesting.
She suggests that our souls might actually journey through these different planetary spheres.
Oh, wow.
Each representing, like, a different stage of spiritual development.
So she's suggesting that we could have come from other planets.
It's a pretty mind-blowing concept, isn't it?
It is.
It ties into her concept of the sun,
Right.
as this central force in our spiritual evolution.
Yeah.
Remember, for Blavatsky, the sun was this radiant source of vital power.
Right.
And that power, it wasn't just physical, it was spiritual too.
Okay.
She believed the sun played a role in awakening our consciousness and, like, guiding us on our evolutionary journey,
So the sun is kind of like a spiritual teacher.
In a way, yes.
Wow.
It's like this beacon leading us towards a higher state of being.
It's amazing how she combines these different ideas.
Right.
Ancient wisdom, esoteric concepts.
Yeah.
And, like, scientific principles.
All woven together.
To this grand vision.
Exactly.
It's pretty incredible.
She was trying to present a more holistic understanding of the universe and our place in it.
And speaking of interconnectedness,
Yeah.
we talked earlier about how she saw this potential for science and occultism to kind of come together.
Right, to converge.
How does that fit into her solar theory?
Well, she believed that, science, while it's valuable, was limited by its focus on the material world,
Okay.
And she felt that occultism, with its exploration of like these subtler forces and principles, could offer a more complete picture.
Right.
And she saw hints of this in, the work of scientists like Cook's,
Oh, right.
who was really pushing the boundaries of like what was considered scientifically acceptable.
You mentioned that she thought Cook's work hinted at the existence of meta-elements.
Ah, yes.
What did she mean by that?
She was referring to like the idea that there might be subtler building blocks of matter
Okay.
beyond the elements that science knew about at the time.
Interesting.
She believed these meta-elements existed in a realm beyond the reach of, ordinary scientific instruments.
Okay.
And that occultism offered a way to, like, explore this realm.
So it's like she's suggesting that science might eventually discover a whole new level of reality.
Exactly. A realm that occultism had already been exploring for centuries.
That's really fascinating.
And her solar theory, with its emphasis on, the sun as the source of primordial energy, and this driver of evolution, it provided a framework for understanding how these subtler forces might be at play, shaping the universe and even shaping our own existence within it.
We've covered a lot of ground here, and Blavatsky's solar theory it's complex.
Yeah, it's multifaceted.
But I'm starting to sense this recurring theme.
Okay.
It seems like she's pointing us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves,
Right.
our place in the cosmos, and our potential for growth and evolution.
You've hit on something really important.
Okay.
Blavatsky's work wasn't just about, like, these abstract cosmological theories.
Right.
It was about understanding the human condition,
Uh-huh.
our connection to the universe and the path to self-realization.
So it's not just about the sun out there.
No, it's about the sun within.
It's about us.
It's about us.
And it seems like her solar theory, with its emphasis on the sun as this source of power,
Right.
it's almost like a roadmap for that journey of self-discovery.
Absolutely. And as we move into the final part of our deep dive,
Okay.
we'll explore how these concepts can be applied to our own lives.
Right.
How Blavatsky's insights can inspire us to awaken our own inner potential.
That sounds great. Let's do it. We've covered some pretty heavy stuff about the sun and the universe.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Blavatsky's solar theory, it goes way beyond just thinking of the sun as, just a ball of gas in the sky.
It's really remarkable how she was able to connect, like, ancient wisdom with modern science, Like, she was drawing on all this esoteric knowledge,
Yeah.
but also engaging with the scientific discoveries of her time.
Yeah, and it's not just about, understanding the sun intellectually, right?
Right.
It feels like she was pointing us towards a deeper understanding of ourselves and where we fit in,
Absolutely. Remember how she talked about the sun as this source of vital power?
Yeah.
It wasn't just physical, it was spiritual, too.
Right.
She believed that this solar energy actually played a part in awakening our consciousness.
Huh.
And guiding us on our evolutionary journey.
So are you saying the sun is like a metaphor for our own potential?
That's a really interesting way to put it.
Like, in the same way the sun gives off light and warmth,
Yeah.
we also have a capacity to, radiate our own kind of energy and consciousness.
That's beautiful. I love that
Yeah.
Blavatsky believed that within each of us, there's this spark of that same solar fire, that potential for growth, for transformation, for self-realization.
We all have that within us.
We do, and her solar theory, with all that talk about cycles of creation and destruction,
Yeah.
it suggests that, this growth process never really ends. It's a continuous journey.
So it's not a straight line.
No.
It's like a spiral.
It's a cycle. It's like a dance.
Yeah, a dance.
Between creation and dissolution, light and shadow.
And through it all, it's like the sun is there to guide us, like a cosmic teacher.
Exactly, nourishing us, awakening us to our true potential.
Man, this deep dive has been incredible.
Yeah.
I think we all have a much richer understanding of what the sun really represents now.
I agree. We started with solar theory, but we've ended up with profound insights about the universe and our place in it.
If there's one thing I hope people take away from all this, it's that, the universe isn't this empty, cold place.
Absolutely not.
It's alive. It's dynamic.
It's filled with mystery, wonder, and endless potential.
And we each have a piece of that within us, just waiting to be discovered.
Precisely. It's all about tapping into that inner sun, that inner light.
I love that.
Yeah.
This has been an amazing journey. Thank you so much for, being our guide through all of this.
My pleasure. It's been a fascinating conversation.
And for everyone listening, keep exploring these ideas. See what resonates with you.
Keep searching for your own truth.
And who knows, maybe you'll uncover your own piece of the sun along the way.
That's what it's all about.
Awesome. Thanks again.
Thank you.
Don't forget to like and subscribe for the next episode on While We Were Distracted.